We're just about ready to kick off today's qualifying here in Melbourne. It's the Australian Grand Prix. The competition is certainly heating up as we head into today's qualifying. Some impressive times showing up during the previous practice sessions. Anthony Davidson, do you think we can expect a similar level of skill to be showcased during today's qualifier?
Well, I certainly hope so. The competition here is extremely tight, and I think we might see some very close times today. Remember, practice isn't just about fastest lap times though, it's about optimization, it's about ratifying your decisions. No one's going to be sweating small mistakes here and there, but in qualifying that all changes. You need to nail that perfect lap or face the consequences, and believe me, that's a lot of pressure.
Checks complete. All personnel be aware we have a car leaving. Okay, you're in the top 10.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid line up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. Welcome to the 2019 Formula One World Championship. Here we are at the first race in what should be another thrilling season. I think the action this year will be very, very close, but as always with F1, you can never be too sure. Anyway, let's get started. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
Well, Crofty, my focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing lots of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Alexander Albon and Sainz, Perez, Verstappen, Magnussen and Daniel Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Kvyat, Lando Norris and Raikkonen, Gasly, Stroll, Roman Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck. green flag. Green flag, we're racing again. DRS is now enabled. Will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone. Information on Perez, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. Release, release. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Car in front is 13.1 seconds. This is your final lap of the race. To the car ahead is 15.8 seconds. day, pick up rubber and bring it home.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
Let's move on to the Constructors. Mercedes move to the top of the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.